supermarket idea and said they were open to discussion about alternative uses for the building. The Action Group want to raise enough money to buy the Corn Exchange, and this is where we pick up the story this morning. So let's talk to Emma Bevan from the Corn Exchange Action Group and Dean Christie, who's a property investor based in Powys, who has recently joined the Action Group. Emma, let me start with you first of all. You've been appealing for pledges. How successful has that process been?
Good morning. Yes, we were approached by Dean Christie a few weeks back with a community buyout scheme, which seemed to fit in with our ideals perfectly for saving the premises. So the Corn Exchange have been working with him, and an investment group has formed, and that's where the pledges have been sent to. And a remarkable amount of generosity has been shown. Over 100 people already have pledged, and the amount we've got to is quite significant now.
Can you tell me how much?
I think not at this stage until we've sat with Punch, but we're at a stage where we can actually now negotiate with them, or the investment group can negotiate with them to discuss the plans and the ideas. So it's really exciting at this point.
So are you in a position to sit down and begin negotiating with Punch Taverns, the current owners?
Yes, 2 representatives from the new investment group are going to meet with them next week. So that's brilliant news.
And times are pretty hard. I mean, are you surprised that local people have dug deep and supported you in this way?
Absolutely. I mean, it's overwhelming support and overwhelming generosity. People have pledged their support, from all sorts of places, financially and otherwise. Typically between £500 and £5,000, and a few people have managed multiples of that. So it's absolutely fantastic. A real surprise, a very pleasant one.
Let's bring in Dean Christie. Dean, why have you come on board? What was it that attracted you about this?
Well, good morning. I really echo everything that Emma has been saying. What attracted me to this, actually, I feel rather sad that I didn't get involved sooner. I only got involved probably about three and a half or so weeks ago. When I read in the paper that the Action Group had reached a stage now where it looked as if there wasn't really much further to go. And I was very, very, very concerned about that. So I approached the Action Group and suggested perhaps that I could get involved with it, which is what I've done. But I have to say, this is probably one of the most inspirational things that I've seen in a very, very long time in business, or anywhere else for that matter, because it has demonstrated some things that, to me, are pretty unique. We have over 100 people now who have ordinary residents of Crickhowl and surrounding areas who have actually come forward and pledged their money to actually protect the character of their town. But the people are not the only thing that has made this possible. I think the little Action Group that's been set up, I say little, I mean little, it's only about 5 or 6 people involved who got together to actually start this whole thing off from the very outset.
Let me just bring in Emma. Sorry, Emma. What's your plan if you manage to purchase the Corn Exchange? How would it be run? What would we then see? Obviously, it's not going to be a pub. It's not going to be a supermarket. So, what would it be?
Well, I need to stress that the Action Group would not run the scheme.
Yep.
We are sort of evolving, and the investment group is coming forward. A representative from the Action Group would stay on that to ensure continuity. And then if the building can be bought, which is very hopeful, the current plans are for some residential units upstairs and retail units downstairs, keeping those fairly small so that small businesses can afford to run them, and it would be a sustainable future for them and the town.
Emma, there'll be people listening to this programme across the country who will say, well, our pub or our garage, our post office, our shop, our leisure centre, our play group is under threat. Obviously, there are cutbacks across the UK. I wonder what the message of Crickhowl is for other people who find themselves where facilities are in question.
I would say don't give up. You may be faced by, a large corporation or a government or other people who are threatening your town and your facilities. But if you can take any inspiration from Krakow, which is a really small town, and gather your resources together, then that there is hope to keep all the facilities sustainable, hopefully.
Dean, is this going to happen, do you think? I mean, you sound all tantalisingly close.
I'm very, very confident. I'm extremely confident, in fact. And my confidence is based on the fact that we believe we have raised enough pledges now to sit around the table and negotiate with Punch. And this was not the case 2 weeks ago, but it is at the moment, because it's not just the funds to buy the property that we need to raise. We also need to raise sufficient funds to be able to renovate it and convert it. And that the other reason that I'm feeling very confident is that Punch themselves have excelled themselves in this, in that they have withdrawn the property off from sale to anybody else at the moment, and they have given us every opportunity, and they're working very, very well and very closely with us and supporting us. And I think these factors make me very confident that we are going to succeed.
Well, we've spoken to Punch Taverns and they've sent us a short statement which reads, we are continuing our positive dialogue with the representatives of the Crick Howell campaign group, and we'll be meeting them next week to discuss progress. Thank you both very much indeed, and hopefully we'll talk to you when there's further news on your plans. But for the moment, thanks to Emma Bevan from the Corn Exchange Action Group, and also to Dean Christie, the property investor from Powys. We'd love to hear from you, by the way, if you're thinking about something similar wherever you're living in the country. Perhaps you've got a much-loved facility in your town or village that you think needs rescuing. 03700 100 110. We'd like to hear your experiences. You can text us on 81012. We're on Twitter at BBC Radio Wales.